ask for you here. Last time walking out of the tunnel at Ohio Stadium on Saturday. Have you started to process, I mean, I know obviously there's a lot of focus on the game itself, but have you started to process the emotional impact of the game before the game?
It's a really big game. I mean, last year was a little different. I forget who we played on our senior day, but I can't quite let my emotions get in the way of everything. I see my parents down there. I know that would be a little emotional for me, but just suiting up for the last time in Ohio Stadium. I just hope that people know that I gave everything I had, offense, special teams, as a leader. I worked hard from when I was a recruit to when I'm walking out the door. So going out with a win, that's what I hope to accomplish this week.
At Maryland on Saturday, after the overtime, you were pretty emotional on the field, I think more than I think I've ever seen you on the field. What was that about? I mean, I saw you hugging every coach that you could, and it looked like you were close to breaking down. What was the root of that?
Well, I just got overwhelmed with emotion from a spiritual standpoint. I feel like, you know, me switching over to X, you know, I've kind of taken some of Ben's reps, and, you know, I got hurt in that game. I felt like I was having a pretty good game. That was tough because, you know, it's a tough, close game, and as a leader, you want to be out there. And I felt like, you know, I'm not saying that God made me hurt in the standpoint of that, but he put Ben in that situation to make the play. And Ben works really, really hard, and, you know, he gets a lot of criticism from our coaches, from outside sources and things like that. But he works really hard, and I'm proud of, in that situation, that he was able to make a play when we needed it most. So I was emotional from that standpoint.
Cut you off. Urban Meyer has like guys over the years that he always refers back to. You know, like John Simon, Evan Spencer, and all that stuff. Like, I think that you, at least with your performance last few weeks, have like crossed over into that like fraternity. How has he treated you? Do you feel like you've done that? And what is it that, you know, you bring to the table that makes you in that category?
Well, coming to Ohio State, I never really set out to be, you know, in Coach Meyer's good graces, quote unquote, to be thought of in that upper echelon of great players. But it's humbling because he's coached some of the greatest players that ever played college football. So that's humbling in that aspect. But I've always just wanted to be the guy who did the right thing, worked hard, and brought somebody along with me as a leader, as a person, just that guy you could depend on and off the field that was going to make your program better. So for him to think of me in that aspect is pretty cool.
What is the sense you have of the leadership job you guys have done this year, considering how July went down, August went down, Purdue went down? I mean, that y'all are still playing pretty much for what you set out to play for in the first place. How tough has that leadership job been, and what was the toughest challenge?
The toughest challenge was probably at the beginning of the season, losing Coach Meyer, and you know, we have Coach Day, who did a great job, but you know, not having Coach Meyer during camp is tough because he really sets the pace and the tempo of how things are supposed to be, how the season's going to go, how we're supposed to practice and things like that. And so that was really tough. And then just the ups and downs of the season. I mean, we took a loss in West Lafayette. You know, we've had some close wins. We've had some big wins, and that's been tough as a leader because this is my second year being captain, and this is probably the toughest year that I've been a part of, just with the ups and downs, the outside noise and things like that. But trying to control what we can control inside of this building and making sure that I'm helping and making all the plays that I can, it's just really been my main focus.
Do you think everything you guys have gone through off the field has sort of been undersold nationally? People don't really understand how challenging this year has been for you guys.
I mean, when you're at Ohio State, everybody expects you to blow everybody out, and we haven't played well, but we've won. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's what really matters. You want to be playing your best football going down the stretch in this part of the season. And so, you know, we've really tried to attack the things that we've not done well and try to make them strengths. So that's really what's been our focus lately.
Hey, Terry, I think there's this like thing that fans say and think sometimes when you guys aren't doing well that there should be more kids from Ohio on this team because they understand, you know. But it seems like you embody everything that playing like an Ohioan is like.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? How did you learn it? And do you feel like just kind of the way that you approach things that like you don't have to be from Ohio to understand that?
I definitely feel that way. When you come to Ohio State, there's a standard of excellence and toughness. I've always prided myself being on a tough guy, just from how I was raised. Work really, really hard, strong in my faith, and just put my head down and work, and then the results will take care of itself. I can't really speak for how Ohio football. I mean, I played a couple Ohio teams in high school. They were pretty tough, but coming to Ohio State, you kind of learn quickly what the expectations are, for the rivalry. And the expectation here is to win every game and then to win the last game of the season. So, I learned that pretty quickly. So I feel like I ingratiated myself. It was a pretty smooth transition for me.
Terry, you got hurt against. It looked like you hit your head.
Yeah.
Was concussion-like thing? Is that what the issue was?
No, I just got a little banged up. Our doctors do a good job of not putting us in situations where things could be worse. So they felt like I could play, but they didn't want to put me in that situation to possibly make how I was feeling worse. But I'm good to go this week.
When did you know that you would be okay for this game?
I knew at the end of the game. I was feeling pretty normal. Wouldn't have any symptoms of a concussion or things like that. And then when I woke up the next day, I had a good night of sleep, came in, had a good lift in practice. So I felt like myself.
Terry, I know you gave some thought at the end of last season about whether you should come back or whether you should go to the NFL. When you think back on that now, are you really glad that you made this decision to stay here for one more year?
Yeah. I mean, to a certain degree, I was probably a little silly, but just everything that I could accomplish this year, I've accomplished so far, and that's really, really what you look for coming back for another year. I've been around some great leaders. I've got to, witness Dwayne and how great he can be, and I've been able to make myself a leader and a big part of our offense. And those are the things I look for coming back to improve, possibly going to the next level and showing that I could be a leader for this team. And I feel like I've left some sort of legacy.
Do you sense, Dwayne, you're playing with an elite quarterback? I mean, what? And if you nod your head right, what does that mean to you? When you know what I mean? I mean, from a passing standpoint and everything else. But what does that mean if you say that?
When I think of elite quarterbacks, I think they make the biggest plays when you need them the most. I feel like those type of quarterbacks, they're winners, and they make the people around them better. There's no doubt that Dwayne has made our receiver group better. He's made our O-line better. He's made all the positions on our offense better. And, defenses really have to prepare what he brings to the table.
You guys had 3 or 4 just clutch drives last week because you had to in the second half. You took one of those, it would be remarkable. Was that kind of for one of another term, a tour de force by him, and you guys, but rising to the occasion, et cetera, and showing what you're talking about?
Yeah, he really put his head down and really was just a leader on that sideline. I just think back to TCU when we kind of had some struggles offensively, and he was kind of quiet and things like that, kind of waited for some of us older guys to speak up, and he really took the bull by the horns this past week in Maryland. He told me on the touchdown to me he was coming no matter what the coverage was, and there was never any panic, there was never any angst in his voice or in the look in his eye, and just to see that development as a leader. Everybody knew what he could do talent-wise, but his leadership skills have really grown over the years.
Terry, talk about playing your best ball at the end of the year. Why do you believe that you guys will be able to play your best game?
I just feel like this game is different. I feel like you really throw the records out the window. It happens that we're both 10-1 and have a chance to go to the Big Ten championship and possibly more. So, we prepare all year for this game and all the way back in winter. So this is just not a week-long process that we're preparing for the team up north. This starts all the way back in the winter, our preparation on and off the field, lifting, and that's why I feel like there's just so much more than just anher game this week.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. Speaking of records,
Did Urban truly tell you that he was going to name a kid after you?
Yeah, he told me after he came in after the press conference. He said, "Did you see my press conference?" I said, "Yeah, I saw it." He said, "But Shelly said I'm done having kids, so I appreciate it though."